Everyone, Russ of Aquariumax here. I figured we'd start just a wee bit early because we had some people in the chat and I figured I didn't want to make anybody wait. So, Thoroughpods, Elaine Smith, Jay Bear, Slav Pepe, and yeah, those are the folks in the house right now, at least that I can see in the chat. So, let's see. Cool. So, looks like Slav Pepe is going to set up some dairy cow isopods. Awesome choice. Recommendations for Canada. I wish I could help out with that. Game Forever in the house. TJ's Exotic Pets. Connor Kennedy. All here. Nice to see you all. Let's take a peek at the Porcellio magnificus. Look, there's some nice monkey there with one almost adult, looking pretty nice. There's actually a ton of monkey in here, a lot of them, but I don't know if we'll be able to see them all. But look at these things; they're beautiful. It's too bright, isn't it? It's a little bit too bright. Let me see if I can fix the light, adjust that, because it is pretty bright. Let me see. I think that might be a little better. Let's try that. Is that better? Let's try that. And Evan, thank you. And Moultrie Geeks, howdy, welcome. Jeff Medina, welcome. These are pretty gorgeous isopods, aren't they? Let's see if I can get, focus in on them. One thing I love about Porcellio magnificus is the white skirting. It's a little subtle. You can see it on some individuals more than others, but I think it's pretty amazing. Quite cool. I love this species. I think they're great. I'm going to open the chat all the way. It looked like it was on top chat. Now it's on live chat, so you can chat more often, just in case it was kicking you off. And Brant Nagy, males and females for isopods. Many species there are. In this species, you can tell a male from a female. Let me see if I can find a nice mature male in here. I don't know if I have any that are full grown, but I do have some that are, of course, breeding age. Oh, I'm missing it. I want to show you all the isopods down there. There's a ton of them running around. The babies. Just a second. There's a bigger one, but this appears to be a female. I'm just going to make sure I'm not throwing any isopods to the wolves, so to speak. And let's see if we can get down in there, see what we can see. Okay. Yeah, most species do have males and females, and in this species you can tell male from female because the male has longer uropods. This is a male right here. And pick it up. So you can see uropods are the structures coming out of its posterior end there, and those are called uropods. The males have much longer ones than the females. This one, like I said, is not mature, but it is an adult from a reproductive standpoint, and it has those longer uropods, and they will get longer with age. I'm having a hard time focusing for some reason. Anyway, there we go. Some species don't have a lot of dimorphism like that, but they're still male and females, and then there are some species that don't have, they're just female. And I have a couple of those species. The tricornid tomentosa, the dwarf whites, are one of those species. See, when I dig around in here, you can see there's a lot of little monkey running around of the Porcellio magnificus. You can't see as many as there are, but you get some idea of what's going on there. There are a fair number of them. Lost the chat, sorry, trying to dig it out here. Okay, so Jordan Savala, hello and welcome. And hi, Thoroughpods. Game Forever. Isopods mostly active at night or during the day. Depends on the species. There are a lot of species that are active at night. Let's see. Yeah, there's a ton more. It's just, I don't know if you can see. But whenever I pull away the substrate, there's a whole bunch of little babies in there. So there are a lot in here. But I don't want to disturb them too much. And it depends on the species. One of the best species for day activity is, not this one actually, excuse me, is Porcellio Lavis dairy cow. They are great for that. Some others that are pretty active during the day are Porcellio ornatus yellow dot, and zebra pillbugs are pretty good. For that, there are quite a few that are fairly day active, but there are a lot that aren't. Powder blues and other powder oranges and so on, they're pretty good. Barb, hello. Hello. Pocosaurus, hello. Do you know anything about using isopods for horticultural use? I thought perhaps they would make excellent fertilizer if you had them fish, seaweed, and other nutrient-rich, hard-to-compost items. Well, I've read a little bit about iso-composting, and it can be done, and I think you're on the right track. I think many of them could indeed contribute to compost successfully. I know that many people who compost worms, use worms to do vermicompost, also use isopods. So let's take a look at Lavis. Jeff Medina, since you're asking. I got some new tubs here, just using them as a stand to put other things on. We're going to look at Lavis, because a lot of the larger Spanish Porcellios do have that dimorphism, but Lavis doesn't really. See, these are all run around during the day on top of this container, so it gives you an idea. You can't really tell very easily just by looking at the top of a Porcellio Lavis. Although I have my suspicions that the males do have longer ear pods, like you see that one has some longer ear pods, but I don't know if that's, and there's some shorter ones. I don't know if that's just their size and their age and whatnot, their maturity level, or if that is actually a thing in terms of dimorphism. But I've never really looked into it a whole lot, so I'm not sure. And yeah, let's see. And Tabin, whoa, I don't know how to say your name, but hi. And doing pretty well, and my son is doing well. Thank you for asking. He's just talked to him the other day, so he's doing well. And Porcellio boliveri, that is a species I don't have. But I like that species. They look really cool. I think they're one of the species that looks very prehistoric, kind of like a trilobite. But these guys are definitely one of my favorites. Look how much color, well, not color really, but pattern they have on there. There's a lot there going on. So hopefully that helps. Breaker, hello. I think I'm going to do something here. Just a second. Put these guys back. And I want to pick up the iPad and see if I can get it detached from all this stuff. Oh, sorry. We're going to look over here at the beetles, because this is the active time for the beetles and the velvet ants. I just saw all the velvet ants running around in here. There are a bunch of beetles running around too. So this is my biggest velvet ant. I think this one is Dasyamutilla klugi. It's a large one. It's probably close to 1 inch long. There's one of my blue death feigning beetles. There is an Eleodes obscurus. I probably scared away the other velvet ants. I have a Dasyamutilla bioculata and a Dasyamutilla vestita in here as well, and they were just running around. But unfortunately, I guess I scared them off. Some of them can be pretty flighty. So, there you go. Where did everybody go? Here's a big old beetle in our face saying hi. What's the most difficult isopod you care for? Well, so far for me, I find that oh, there's my Dasyamutilla bioculata in the corner there. I don't know if you can see it from where. Probably not, but it's back there, hiding around. The rubber duckies are hard, and magic potions so far. Those two are probably the hardest isopods to care for me so far. And I'm not sure what happened. I'm wondering if when I got my magic potions, I just unluckily ended up with all males or something, because I got them when they were quite small, but they're just not really, they just never reproduced from them. They all grew up, seemed to reach an adult size, and then just stopped doing a whole lot, and it eventually dwindled. I think I have 1 or 2 left, and that's it. Let's see how the Armadillidium klugi are doing. They're doing well. Got a lot of those. And they're starting to get to a reproductive size. So, well, they're all running away now. I scared the heck out of them. But there they are. I love these guys. Definitely one of the most colorful wild type isopods that you can get. And they're finally just bouncing back from me. I've had a couple of spikes, and I think I've finally kind of dialed in, and they're doing okay. So, there you go. I'm going to come back right up here for a minute while I catch up on the chat, see what we can see. Let's see. So, Elaine Smith. Okay, I got to catch up here. Devil Card, do you have any tips for keeping Cubara species? I read that they need higher supplements of calcium. Some say specifically need limestone. Any thoughts on that? That's what I have heard from the people who keep them, specifically from Mitten Exotics, from whom I got mine. And so I did buy some limestone and put it in with them, and I think that's a good thing. But like I said, I don't feel like I'm terribly qualified to give any tips on their care until I dial into it a little bit better. And mine are doing better. Elaine Smith, what isopods and springtails would you use in a planted tank? Spider plant, pothos, a fern, and maybe some live moss. Well, if you don't want it to be seen much, I would choose something like either dwarf striped or dwarf white, or you could go with Silisticus convexus. Excuse me. You could go with Silisticus convexus. You could do Isopoda species Tarragona. Those are some that'll do the job and are not likely to be seen. And those are some species that I keep. So I would suggest one of those if you don't really want them to be seen. Oh, there's one of the other beetles in the back. That's a black death feigning beetle, sometimes called that, or a smooth death feigning beetle. All right. And Jay's Crazy Obsessions. I got to give him a shout out. The other day, he brought me a super red bristlenose pleco, and I am excited about it. I'm going to be moving it into a 54-gallon tank soon, but I'm gonna keep it where it is for a little while. But once things are more ready, I'm going to move it over into the 54-gallon, and I'm excited about that. So, got to say thanks for that. That was awesome. And Jordan Savala says, do you have any spiders? I just got a new trapdoor. They even gave me a Nandu chromatus. Awesome. The only spider I have is a Phidippus audax. I have a little Phidippus audax in a container from Big Fat Fids. The audax itself showed up in the house, and the container I got from Big Fat Fids. It's doing well. It's gone through one molt. It was pretty small when we got it, but it's gone through one molt and is eating pretty well. And I think I've kept several Phidippus audax. I had one last summer that produced tons and tons of babies. My son found it in a bedroom in the house, and we moved it into a container, an enclosure, and it really went crazy. It produced at least 3 egg sacs, 4. I don't remember how many egg sacs. And I had to let some go because there were just too many. So, Crystal's Pets and Plants, hello. And I think Ancestris are awesome and underrated. People get the really fancy plecos, nothing against the really fancy plecos, but I think the Ancestris are just awesome. And Infamous Hip Hop, or Infamous Hip Hop, I don't know which one yours is, because if you've seen The Three Amigos, Infamous, it's like more than famous. If you know that movie, The Three Amigos, that's why I say that. But Infamous is probably the one that you use. I do have Centipede. We have a Desert Tiger Centipede. I wonder if she's available for comment right now. Let's just check, shall we? Okay, sorry, moving things around here. This Centipede we've had for around 3 years. I just moved her into this container. There she is. Her name is Gerthang. My son named her. It's actually my son's Centipede. And she actually produced eggs for us once, but the eggs, she ended up eating them. But this is our Centipede, and she's pretty shy, but so she doesn't necessarily eat on camera very well or anything like that, but I think she's really cool. And sometimes when she gets really hungry, she will hunt and eat. She might be hungry now. I mean, we could check it out and see if she's hungry. That'd be kind of fun. Anybody want to see? What are the orange things? Oh, look at this. Check this out. I'm jumping back and forth. The velvet ant is getting a drink from the nectar container, the nectar feeder. It's made for ants, but even this big old velvet ant can drink from it. Since velvet ants are actually wasps, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, these are dried carrots. I leave them in there for a while. The beetles will come back and gnaw on them even when they're pretty dry, so it's good for them to have food all the time. There's some beetle jelly in there, some beetle butt jelly back in that dish. We got some cat food they like to nibble on. But yeah, I always have, we put carrots, freshly cut, moist carrots in here every couple of days, and they chew on them, and then when it gets too bad, I can pull them out when there's too many in there. Oh, I see what you're saying, Elaine Smith. Yes, okay. That could work. I'm going to grab a mealworm and see if our centipede is hungry, because she likes mealworms. So let's see what we got here. Mealworm time. Nice juicy active mealworm. We got something like that. Oh, that one's too small. I want one that's... That one was moving around. Yep, okay. Let's see if she'll eat. When she's into it, she's into it. And when she's not, she really isn't. So I guess that was informative. Is she gonna grab it? Oh, she's trying. Did she get it? I can't even tell, because she's hiding behind the food dish, or the water dish, sorry, which needs some more water in it. Let's take a look, see what's going on here. She's going after it, but she missed. At least it's a very active mealworm. I'm gonna have to dig it up and try to pull that out and see if she'll go after it again, because she looked interested. Let's see. Yeah, so those are all species that I would recommend you try then, Elaine. I think you could probably get away with some of those if you wanted to, because they're not going to be terribly visible. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that. She's running away. But if she skirts the perimeter of the enclosure, maybe she'll run into it again, because she did seem pretty hungry. She was starting to follow that one. She just gets spooked really easily for a centipede. It's kind of funny. Let's drop that in. Is she going to go for it? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe not. I might just have to pull it out again. When she's really hungry, she really goes for it. But let's see. So Crystal's been getting some ivory millipedes. Awesome. One of my personal favorite species of millipede, perhaps my favorite. Ooh, oh. We got this going. Are you gonna take it? You gonna take it? Oh, I thought she was gonna eat it. Oh, too bad. Okay. Well, Lacey's Place, hello. Oh, so it was a Three Amigos reference. Awesome. So I was right to say infamous instead of infamous. That's awesome. Okay. So Jordan, is it the centipedes give you the heebie-jeebies? Oh, there's my Dasimutilla bucculata. Look how much smaller she is than the Dasimutilla klugi. It's so much smaller. And the other velvet ant in here is so shy. The Dasimutilla vestita, it's kind of a light orange color. Extremely shy. Okay. Hello, itty bitty ladybug Lisa. So you have camera shy bullfrogs too, huh? Oh, Heather Jensen's got her Pac-Man frog. Flat Stanley. I love it. It's awesome. And he has started eating for me. He was hunting a cricket earlier, and it was adorable. Awesome. Glad he's eating for you. They, once you got him eating, then it's awesome, because they're pretty voracious eaters if you can get them to do their thing. And then pretty easy to take care of, from what I understand. I think that's a frog I wouldn't mind having at some point. I have my dart frogs, and they're awesome. But I think that would be a cool species. Here comes my Eleotis obscurus, big beetle. Okay, so it is the centipedes, yes? Well, you know, centipedes are one of those species. Some people like them, some people can't stand them. And I really like them, but I could see why they make some people uncomfortable. They're crazy predators. They're pretty amazing. I wish there were an isopod emoji. That's one I would totally use. See, what I don't want to do is leave the centipede, leave that mealworm in there where the centipede's going to encounter it later. You know, I don't want it nibbling on the centipede or anything like that. But so I'm going to have to see what I can do about that. But shutting off the notifications on my phone that don't make any noise. So I'm going to go grab something else. I'm going to put the centipede up here. We used to have the centipede in a much larger container, but she does not really seem to use it. So I'm just going to keep her in the smaller container and see how she does. I think it'll be better for her finding her food because she has problems with that. Oh, I forgot to get her cork bark for her. I'll have to put that in a second. Let's look at this little guy. This little frog. Oh, now the light is all messed up. Can't see it. Look at this little frog. He morphed out, when was it, like 2 weeks ago maybe? Starting to get his color in really nicely. This is my newest tadpole, now a froglet. And it's already got a home. So pretty exciting. So the larvae for the blue death fainting beetles, they're actually doing really well. Some of them are getting pretty big. I have, let's see, I'm going to try to put this back in the tripod, so just a second. Bear with me, if you would. I'm going to see if we can focus in on the little froggy here and see if we can feed him on film. So, let's see. I'll be right back. And I'm going to come back and catch up on the chat too. So, I will be right back. Let me see if I can focus that light a little better. That's better, but I can't hold that there while I'm gone. But I'll come back, okay? I will come back. We'll make it work. Just grabbing some food for the little froggy. If we can see him eat on camera, I would love to see him eat on camera. I'm trying to make sure that he's ready to go to a new home, but he's not ready until I see him eat, you know what I mean? So, I'm just digging around in my fruit fly cultures to see what's ready in terms of melanogaster. If I've got some melanogaster I can feed off right now. Oh yeah, there's some going on in there. So I'll be right with you once I get a few of these fruit flies. That one's not going to be ready. Is that one ready yet? Not quite. Okay, this one is probably good. If we can get him to eat some fruit flies, then I know he's ready to go to his new home. There's a few in here, so we'll see what we can get. I'm kind of low on fruit flies right now, to be honest. I need to. Ooh, that was just flicking it off his body. He didn't actually eat it, so that doesn't count. I'm going to see if I can move the light though, so you can see what's going on a little bit better. That's probably better. Did he eat one? Couldn't really tell. Because there's a local hobbyist who has been interested in getting this tadpole since before it was hatched from its egg, and oh, that light is crummy. Sorry, I'm trying to get better light for you. And has been checking in on it periodically, and it's been kind of a fun process to be able to provide updates. Oh, that's a little better right there, isn't it? I mean, the focus is not awesome, but it's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to try to catch up on chat now. So yeah, the blue death fainting beetle larvae are doing well. I've got 8 of them in deli cups, and I'm actually going to be doing a video on that really soon. One species of my animals not included, your mammals. What would you choose? Have 10 seconds go. Probably a snake. Probably a snake, because the snakes are so relaxing and so easy that if I could only keep one, that's probably what I'd do. Of the birds, the ones that are not mammals. That's probably going to be it. I love how you only have to clean out their enclosure once a week, and that they usually only go to the bathroom once a week, and that could be less depending on the type of snake you get and what it eats and all that kind of thing. So I find it so relaxing to hold them, and they don't make a big mess, and so yeah, probably that. Can you feed isopods with bird food bug pellets? I bet you could. I don't see why not. Isopods are really good about eating a lot of different things. And how is the isopod, or the Isoviva enclosure doing? Good question, Jordan. Well, let's pull that out and we'll take a look at it. And infamous hip hop. Any care tips on Isopoda species Tarragona? I found that species to be really easy and undemanding. Likes it moist, likes lots of leaf litter, and is one of the best ones in my dart frog enclosure. They seem to survive really well in there. So yeah, that is, I would say they're a really easy species in my experience. They take a little while to get going, but once they are going, they seem to do really well. So I'm going to get the Isoviva enclosure because little froggy here does not seem terribly interested in eating these. He's going to have to go back to springtails for a little while, I guess. Although the flies, they do seem to disappear when I put them in there, so who knows? Who knows? He may actually be eating them. Okay, here comes the Isoviva enclosure. We'll set it down and take a peek. Excellent question, Jordan. I'm glad you brought that up so we can take a look. I'm still planning on doing a full review on this, but I need to keep it longer and see how it does. So, let's see. So Heather Jensen says, I've been feeding isopods some tiny dried shrimp meant for turtles and they like it. Yes, I think Wally does that too. They're like the river shrimp kind of thing. And those seem to work well for him. And I've fed mine shrimp before, not that particular type, but they love the shrimp, so that seems like a good food item. And let's see. Undulating darkness. I've witnessed my isopods rarely attack the antennae of others. Do you know why they might do this? That is interesting. I have not witnessed that. I would imagine it could be if they're just hungry and confused about where the food is or something. They might do that. Or it might be a way to just reduce competition for food in a particular area or something, but I'm not sure. Faith Allen, hello! Glad you were able to catch a stream. That's awesome. It's always nice when someone's able to come in and catch a stream and hasn't done it before, so I am glad you're here. You can see there's a ton of springtails. Well, I don't know if you can see there's a ton of springtails, but there are lots of springtails down there hopping around. It may be a little bit difficult to focus on. Oh, now you can see them, I think. There's a lot in there. Let's see if we can pull out any isopods and actually see them. For those of you who don't know, this container, oh, there's a couple running around in there. I think I see most of the ones in here I tried to put in here are the ones that look to be pied. They have irregular white markings mixed in with their powder blue, normal powder blue coloration. And those that are in the magnolia pod are hiding, so that's going to be hard to see them. Let's see if we can get some others in evidence. Oh, there's a couple, and there's one of the pied ones. Check it out. Oh, these are both pied ones actually. And I really love the look of them. They're fast, but oh, look, he's holding still. We can get a good look, hopefully, on these guys. See those markings? Pretty nice. I love those markings on these guys. Hopefully that'll be able to prove out on these. It's not usually the powder blues breed super fast, and I haven't seen a lot of breeding activity on these guys yet, but I'm sure they will. It's just probably since I started out with a small number of them, I'm guessing is kind of the deal. It's just going to take longer. Put the moss back over there. And let's see. Could be a protein thing like some of you are saying. Ooh, I'd like to see how big that one gets. Heather, I've heard rumors that they can get over an inch long, but I've never seen it, and that's probably because in large colonies, they're just not going to get enough food for that if they're really, really big unless you're feeding them a lot. And also an age thing, and I'm, turnover. I get turnover because I'm moving a lot out. So I've never seen any get really huge, but how big was it? Yeah, I'm betting the bug pellets are going to be a good option for you, so I would go ahead and try it. So hopefully that helps, Jordan. I wanted to kind of show you, and you got to see a couple of isopods in there anyway. I'm sure once the colony really, really gets going, it'll be even more interesting to see. But there you go, there's something. And what else do I have here? I'm just going to pull these out because they're here and they're fun. I just love the visual impact of this colony because they're so colorful. This is my Porcellio scabbard party mix. Gotta love them. They're just fun to see. Okay, they're at least able to cover a nickel. That is a pretty big one. Lengthwise, yeah. Okay, I guess I do have a few that big. Not a lot, but I do have a few that big. But it is a big dairy cow. But I don't have any that are an inch long yet, I don't think. That's cool. Let's see. I don't know why my light is acting the way it is. It's acting goofy today. But fun stuff. Oh, I've got a stowaway on my finger there. These are just fun. Look at that. Isn't that fun? All the mixtures. Oh, Faith just found babies in her dairy cow enclosure. Awesome. I think Moultrie Geeks and Dragon Udo have recently found them too. They're just, aren't they great? The little babies, and the way they go crazy. They just breed so fast. It's pretty awesome. Any other requests? I've been culling things lately, trying to get, these are my orange Dalmatians, but you can see there are other Dalmatians in here too. Still trying to cull things down so they're just orange, but there are a lot of oranges in here. There are just a lot of all kinds of things going on. And, crystal zebra isopods are getting big. Those are fun. Those are definitely among my favorites of all isopods. If I had a favorite among the Armadillidium, that would be maybe would be my favorite. It'd be one of my favorites for sure. I'm going to pull some down. Take a look at them. This is a huge enclosure. Can I do this? I'm trying to figure out if I can even make this work. Huge enclosure of zebras. It's the biggest isopod enclosure I have in terms of surface area. And let's just see what we got in terms of zebras. They're running around. There's a lot of them in there. They're not all settled in one spot. Sometimes they are. But, so anybody else have a list of inverts you're buying when it's warmer outside so they can be shipped? Yeah, I think I'm building one up. I want some more velvet ants for one, and I want some more desert darkling beetles. I'm thinking of getting some milkback Porcellio Lavis, if I can. And so Faith Allen's getting scabbers, orange, calico, and Dalmatian, along with some more dairy cows. Oh yeah, gotta keep the dairy cows coming. Although they'll be breeding for you, and you won't be able to stop them. You'll have more than you ever think you would possibly imagine. And okay. Oh, Cody, glad to see you here. You get to take a week off work. That's awesome. I mean, I hope it's a good reason if it's your doctor, but at any rate, you get to one good thing from it, huh? You get to be in the live stream. So I'm going to put these guys away. And somebody said they wanted to see the Titans. I don't remember who said it yet, but we'll take a look at the Titans. And let's see. And you're welcome, Jordan. Glad to do that. Crystals, Pets, and Plants. Thank you. RJ Robinson, good to see you here. A need for peds. Which kind are you looking for? Heather, which kind of collecting? Oh, I see a couple. Oh, there are some in a few of them under here. There's a male that's getting along there in size. Some good Europod development there. There's a nice female. See, before, if you were in the stream and I was talking about the dimorphism, the one on the left is very obviously male, longer, and has the longer Europods, and this is very obviously female with much shorter Europods and a stouter body shape. So Jay's Crazy Obsession, you're getting some feedback, huh? I wonder if this is my microphone, or I wonder if it's just the background noise here in the room from the aquarium pumps. So, I don't know. Oh, rhinoceros beetle larva. That's cool. It was Bugs in Cyberspace just did a video on those. I haven't seen it yet, but oh, here's some more. Check it out. Some more titans. And infamous hip hop. Your Bolivary had monkey. Nice. Congratulations on that. Yeah, that's funny. Slav Pepe found an Armadillidium vulgare in the laundry room in the dead of winter. They're kind of funky that way. So Faith Ellen is saying that smoky oaks don't make a very good display pet because they burrow a lot. You know, ivory millipedes are one of the best for that, for getting out and doing their thing. Ah, Damien's in the house. Nice to see you here with Nocturnal Exotics. Okay, so I'm glad you got to see some titans, Faith. There's a big one. Check it out. This is actually not even full-grown one. Right here in the middle of the screen, this big old male, but it's fairly large. Has anyone here kept superworm beetles from Cardboard Bear? Oh, there's an orange scabber got in here. I've been trying to get those out of there. At first I thought they were a mutation. I was like, I'm so excited I got these. But it turned out they were just Porcellio scabber. Orange, Spanish orange in there, which is not quite as cool. I'm going to water their moss while I'm here because it looks pretty dry. And you do want to keep the Porcellio Hoffman's egg eye. Oh, there's a dead one right there. It looks like it's been partially consumed. That's not cool. It looks like it had a mismolt, and that would explain what's going on. I'm going to move this one out of the way because I don't want to dump the water right on it. They don't seem to like that a whole lot. And moisten their moss. They just need one wet corner and keep the rest of the enclosure pretty dry. That's pretty standard for Spanish Porcellio. And so they have their little moss pit. And it seems to be a good way to do it. And yes, so Cardboard Bear, superworm beetles. I know someone who does, who has kept them and breeds them and everything, and it seems like pretty cool. And they're kind of like keeping desert darkling beetles. I mean, it's pretty similar concept. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab my ivory millipedes. Why not? Maybe we'll look at a few other millipedes. Who knows? We've got a few minutes, right? I think we do. We may not have a whole lot of minutes. Let's look around. We can see a hole there. There's a millipede at the surface. See here, I'm talking about the millipedes being surface active, and then there's only a couple of them at the surface right now, but that's cool. There's a male and a female ivory millipede right here up near the surface, so let's check them out. Let's let them do their thing, crawl around. They are beautiful. They're gorgeous millipedes, and they're so easy to find at the surface most of the time. This is really not typical. They're usually more active at the surface. Let's see. Yeah, ivories are really good for display if you're going to do a millipede. In all the species that I've kept, they're one of the best. Oh, let's see. Oh, so Cody's done it, but they moved. Didn't keep them. I had a red and black spotted scabber, but it died due to a failed molt. What can cause a failed molt? Failed molt can be a lot of things. It can be humidity. It can be wrong. There's not enough of it, or that can be an issue. It can be disturbed when they're molting. If it's overcrowded, they can be that can be an issue too. I think it's probably usually humidity would be what I would say. It's probably the issue most of the time. So, Dragon Udo, something strange I wanted to share. My isos don't eat Repashy bug burger, wet or dry. That is truly weird because almost all of my isopods absolutely adore that stuff. But when I have isopods in small colonies, I don't bother offering it because when the colony is small and young, they don't really eat it a lot. But as soon as the colony gets big, they do. One of the exceptions is, well, my Titans, my Porcellio Hoffman's egg, I don't eat a lot of it. They don't go crazy over it. And my Armadillidium klugi don't go crazy over it. They eat it, both of them eat some of it, but they don't eat a ton. So, really, they're not eating fish food? Jay's Crazy Obsessions? That's crazy. Have you ever heard of the forked fungus beetle, an American species of darkling beetle? I believe they only eat 2 types of bracket fungi. They're one of the coolest beetles in my opinion. I've heard of beetles that focus on bracket fungi, but I don't know if I've heard of this particular one. So yours loves Wardley shrimp pellets. Mine love anything with shrimp in it too. Okay. So that could be Jay's Crazy Obsessions, smaller colony. Isopods love eating moss and ferns. Yeah, I've seen mine eat the moss too. Salad Pepper, would it be safe to take a starter colony of dairy cows on the bus with me? I was planning to wrap them in a blanket, maybe get a hand warmer to help them out. You know, I've done stuff like that in the winter, and I just put them in a deli cup and then put it inside my coat up against my shirt. So they're sandwiched between my coat and my shirt, and that seems to work okay. So Heather Jensen, still want someone to get the purple ivories and compare to the regular. Yeah, that'd be a good idea because I think I've never seen any ivories that are purple as adults. I've seen them purple as young ones, but never as adults. Ooh, she's a little bit unhappy that I picked her up. Oh, okay. So, lots of isopod breeders in Toronto. Interesting. That's cool. I'm glad they're popular where you are. And Jay's Crazy Obsessions. That's probably a good idea. Just try a little bit of fish food at a time, very small amount, while the colony is small. And the fish actually did fine. I had to get them on the bus, and then I transferred to a train. But fortunately, it gave me a big bag with a large volume of water. And so by the time I got it home, it was actually the exact same temperature as the tank I was putting them in. 70.5 degrees, which is pretty good for a bristlenose pleco and cistrus. And so it was fine. It was perfect. So in part because you gave me a nice, generous volume of water, which I think was a good idea. I appreciate that. You're getting some Dalmatians, Barb. That's awesome. Rode in a laptop bag. Almost. My laptop bag is a little bit too small, but it was right next to my laptop bag. So, Wonderful Pet Chronicles. Wonder Pet Chronicles. Thank you. Infamous Hip Hop. You ever heard of giant coastal isopods? They make your Titans look like hobbits. Yeah, they get huge. They do. And I've heard of them. Thought about keeping them sometime, but I never have. This gecko man is an ivory millipede. These are one of the best millipedes in my opinion for anybody who wants to get into millipedes because they're fairly simple to care for and they're good size and they're very active and very nicely patterned. So, let's see. All right. It looks like everybody, I'm going to have to wind down because I have to put everything away in time for my daughter's concert tonight. So I'll be on for a couple more minutes and I'm going to have to take off. So thank you for joining in, everybody. Thank you for all the likes, too. Heather Jensen, I'm going to be doing an apocalypse terrarium where a small house will be overtaken by plants and the millipedes will look gigantic compared to the house. I love that. That's awesome. And yes, Bathynomus giganteus, the largest isopod species. I've seen them in real life. We have an aquarium not too far away, about an hour away from my house, that keeps those. Keeps the giant marine isopods, but not one I'll probably keep as a pet, but they're super cool. So Cardboard Bear has kept some Narcissus. I have some Narcissus, which one is it? Narcissus americanus, the cherry foots. They're pretty cool. All right, so thanks everyone, and thank you Infamous Hip Hop for the well wishes for my daughter, and I'll answer the last question. Gecko Man, are bumblebee millipedes easy to keep? They are, as long as you can keep them warm enough. Try to keep them over 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and they will usually do really well for you. But don't go below that if you can help it, because they don't really like cooler temperatures. They will slow down, and not only that, they will get some die-off generally if you get below that for very long. So I'm going to put this millipede back. Hopefully that helps. Thank you for joining, everyone, and be sure to catch Friday's video. Have a good night, everybody.